Ryan, I'm going to intro you, buddy.
All right,
So
sounds
you
good.
guys that don't know, Ryan is the all-time leading assist point guard in the state of San Diego. We call San Diego its own state. For you guys that don't know, he's my business point guard. The reason why I have Ryan on, and this is no cap at all, he completely changed the structure of my business. He removed stress from my life. He improved my marriage by taking over. If you knew the amount of DMs, emails, and text messages I get a day. And I just couldn't keep up with it. Great point, Myson. Great point on that. So if you can hire a software, do that. If you're blessed, hire a Ryan. Find a Ryan in your life to solve all your problems. That's what he did for me. One of my biggest problems, I actually talked to Corey when I first released this video I got on TikTok, is I had cancellations left and right. And you know how that is. So if you're operating on your own, you show up to a gym, somebody cancels or no shows, that's an awkward conversation. I want to charge you. Now I'm sitting here. I can't fill that spot. It's too late. And if you're like me and you scale, guess who eats all those losses? Well, you eat that loss always. You still got to pay your trainers because they showed up. They held up their end of the deal. So every week, because of the scale I was running at, I was eating hundreds of dollars off cancellations every week. I couldn't get to all the messages. And then I did all, you're going to love this, Myson. I did all my text messages on one day. I was literally sending out 150 text messages on one day. And then they would flow in and I would spend the rest of the day scheduling them. I was doing this all the way up until last year. And guess what it affected? It affected my time with my wife. It affected time with my kids. And you know what I said to myself, how I justified it? It's a necessary evil to do what I love to do. It's just part of the gig. You know, I got to stay up till 3 a.m. to get the email blast out, to answer all the messages, to do the text. And it wasn't, you know, and Mihai gave me that advice. Myson, you've preached it nonstop, but it took someone like Ryan when I'm on the court to execute it. There's a difference. I know I should do it. I just don't know how to execute it. And Ryan did that. So I'm going to give the floor to Ryan. He's going to start it and take it from there. Ryan, that's my intro of you, brother.
That was a pretty good introduction, my friend. I appreciate you and I appreciate our friendship very much. This actually comes up. There was a quick story. There was a storm that came into Louisville, and me and Philip were like, "Hey, let's go to a different city." We actually went to Nashville, and best time of our lives. We brought our families out there, and that was something that I noticed. I noticed that Philip was on his phone a lot, wasn't doing anything else, but making sure he was scheduled for the next days. And that's Philip I want to pinpoint, because that was a moment where I was like, I really got to do something. And as trainers, I know, because I'm coming from the outside going in, and what I've observed, which we talked about this multiple times in here, is that you guys are just lone wolves. You guys do everything yourselves, and you just try to figure it out by yourself. But it's very hard to manage all by yourself. So when I came into that, I was like, let's figure out some problems, and that was one. Myson, if I can hop in and do a shared screen real fast. So that kind of goes hand in hand with the monthly membership that we did for his business. So the scalability, he was texting 150 people, like you said, but you know, you're not just sending that message, you're also getting, you know, about 100 people returning the message, talking about their lives, talking about, you know, what's going on in their world, which is very taxing on a person. And I could see that going to Philip, because if you don't know Philip, the second that you meet him, you're instantly connected to him, spiritually, personality wise. He's just a great person, so people just want to pour into him, and that's a lot to take care of. And so I was like, how can we free this up? I told him, I was like, Philip, I can't get into your phone, but maybe we could do something else. So we turned into a business phone number that is able to help us organize the whole business pretty much. So everything from marketing to reminders to everything that we do is through that platform. And my son has a great platform as well, which does it pretty much the same exact thing. So going into this monthly membership, it was like, okay, let's solve all these issues. Let's solve the text messaging, which was one of them. Let's solve the cancellation, which is the second one, which in this presentation here, like Philip said, it's the awkwardness. You know, when someone cancels on you, hey, my son sprained his ankle last week. We get this message like last week. My kid sprained his ankle. He's not coming in. are you going to text that mom and say, well, you still owe me that $50? Sorry, the whole lights cut off. But are you going to pay me that $50, $100, or whatever you charge for that? Are you going to do that? It's kind of awkward, and you're probably going to lose a customer. And that's why I told Philip too. It's like when you're talking to these people, these are people. That's the last thing they want to deal with. So most of the time, we're kind of we stay quiet. But you know you're losing money. But that's not a fun thing as well. You're also chasing people around. You know, if someone cancels and they don't pay, then you're chasing after them. Hey, you still owe me money. You still owe me money. You guys have to go through that. And then you're burning these bridges as well. You know, if you're going through that person, that awkwardness, it changes the dynamic of the friendship that you guys are building, and that burns those bridges. So the monthly membership completely eliminates all of that. And so, you know, we turned it into a monthly membership because it solves pretty much all these issues. Consistent income. You know, that was one thing I brought up during the conference is, you know, knowing your numbers, your guaranteed income, which I think everyone would appreciate that. Once you guys leave your 9-to-5 job and going into full-time training, which I think some of you guys have done this, that's something that most of you guys don't have, is that consistent income. You're texting these people, hey, I got openings this day, but you know, they're out of town or they're busy or whatever it is. And you're consistently trying to follow up. And one key thing that Philip always brought up to me was the transaction. You're always making a transaction over week in, week out, over and over to 100, 150 people. That gets very difficult. To really scale the business. And like Philip said, he has a top program in Kentucky, and he was doing that all by himself. And, you know, obviously T and the trainers that work with them and stuff like that. But internally, he was doing that all in his head. And that's very taxing. Like you said, with his marriage and stuff like that, you want to spend more time with your family. You want to do this. He has 2 little kids that he wants to spend time with, but it is very taxing. So mindset wise, knowing what to focus on, because when you know your numbers and you're not chasing the sale after sale after sale, and you're knowing, hey, I'm guaranteed 3,000, I'm guaranteed 5,000, whatever the numbers are a month, then you know, hey, that's all I have to do is to scale up. You don't have to think about, well, how much did I make this month? I think I made 2,500. Oh no, then maybe I didn't. Like, you know your numbers right off the bat, which is a huge plus in my eyes. You know, me and Phil talk about it on a weekly basis. Hey, we got this membership, they're on pause because they're out of memberships, but we got 2 more that has hopped on. Here's our numbers for the month. So we know what numbers are coming in no matter what. And just peace of mind and the happier clients. So the happier clients is, you know, people, they don't like the system that we had before. There's a lot of gaps into it, especially scheduling. So Philip would send a text message that, hey, I'm open on this day. So we have a scheduling app, which Myson has in his platform as well. Trainer has another one as well. To where the booking was a huge thing, to where it's like you can only text so many people and go back and forth. So adding a sophisticated platform when you go into the monthly memberships, I really wouldn't advise going into a monthly membership with not having any systems. Systems are so important, which Myson can tell you that as well, that they're so important to have, because if you don't have those systems in place, you're kind of going backwards. So going into the monthly membership, we're like, hey, this solve these issues, cancellation solved, consistent income solved, your mindset solved, your mass text messaging and marketing and communicating to your customers. Like we send a weekly message every Wednesday, let you know, hey, here's a training schedule that we have for the upcoming week. Here's a link for you to book, and we send that out. So a message that took, Philip, how long did it take you to send out those 150 messages?
How long did it take me?
Yeah.
Copy and paste it. It was the fact that it took the whole day up. The whole day was taken up. That was my off day too, by the way. My one off day was scheduling. So there really wasn't an off day. And I'm trying to deal with the kids, and I'm in the middle of dinner with my wife, and I got to get this. And it was just, I think everyone on here that trains can understand exactly where I'm coming from. Is it needed to be eliminated and could be eliminated from consistent income, budget, booking sessions, all the text message. I'm talking hundreds of text messages, and the cancellations after all the work, then they don't show up. So it was just a consistent grind.
Yeah. So I mean that is self, is when we send out these messages, I mean, we have a pretty good system to where we in a sense copy and paste, change the dates on the message, and it takes us about maybe 5 minutes to send 150 people messages that is just one click away. and sometimes I take care of it. Sometimes Philip wants to put in his message on it. So that has completely opened up his business. So now he can focus on what's more important, like these conferences. What's the next step for the conferences? What's the next step for his business? His podcast that he's gonna be launching, just so many other things that he wants to focus on that he's a lot more passionate about. I don't know anyone that's passionate about texting 150 people. It's not really the fun part of the business. So, and then the payment systems as well, which Myson stepped on as well. It's not the easiest if you're trying to run a legit business, which I'll go into the second half of my presentation. Is, if you're getting paid through Venmo, getting paid through cash, we've completely eliminated cash from our business structure. Not because we don't like cash. Cash is king, cash is awesome and stuff like that. But you can't track those things. You can't see where your numbers really are. If you're getting paid half of it in cash, half of it in that. I'm not sure how you guys are with your cash. Sometimes I lose $20 just here and there because I just have cash on me. I don't like it. And so that's one thing, to where we have everything through our Shopify website, and they just go through they can either get the training or they get the monthly membership. We provide way more value on the monthly membership than the regular training side. And we try to portray that, and really that's how we get them in. We offer online programs. We offer them resources. We offer them, even on their newest summer monthly membership, we offer unlimited skill classes. So to us, we can get 20, 25 kids in there, and we can scale that business model, and it's really nothing to us. So that's why we can really do that. And we offer, for example, we offer $300 package for 4 private training sessions and unlimited classes. So we portray it as you can pretty much, do it. You could do unlimited class. You could do unlimited training throughout the month. And in a parent's mindset, they're like, wow, I could do unlimited for 300 when before I was paying for 8 training sessions, and that was about $700. That is a whole mindset that shifts in their mind. And this is where we have a good clientele. We have great parents that back up Hoops for Christ, to where it just made sense. If you look at the numbers and comparing it, we had that on the website as well. When you compare it, they're saving so much money, and we're getting the consistency and knowing that they're in here. And then that's how we're scaling up, is knowing that we have these people in. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They're not like, okay, I want this package and I'm done. They can always pause it. But we've only had maybe a handful just because of summer and stuff like that. But then we filled it in with more people as well. So that's been our biggest things from that standpoint. And then to shift over to the next slide is the taxes. This is the big portion that I want to kind of go in a little bit more depth with trainers that were there at the conference if they haven't gone through the conference. So the one I showed was a growing trainer, which I'll go with that secondly. I think a majority of them guys are just as a simple trainer, keep things a little bit more simple. So if Nelson's still on the call, I wrote down his name. So to give you a breakdown of what this is pretty much how you structure your business. And I helped a couple of our trainers even in our business with this method. So when you have your training business, to say, Nelson's Training LLC, S Corp and stuff like that. And hopefully you guys know how to do that. If you guys don't, let me know. Let's say you guys made $65,000 in that year. And usually, if you do it right, you should put all your expenses as far as your travel, your education, eating out. You could, like I was talking to Myson, you can even rent out your own place where even behind him, that's his own room that is set up for his podcast. So that's a business expense. So you can rent out your specific area. You can kind of determine on how much you can spend on that for your business. So you can put all those expenses on it. To where if you don't have a legit business, and that's totally fine, because a lot of people still do this, but if you can do it the right way, you'll save a lot of money on taxes. And a lot of people that I talked to during and after the conference, that was the first thing that they said. A lot of the trainers, especially when you just start out, you just want to get going. You just want to train. That is what you do, is you train. You don't worry about business stuff. You don't worry about taxes. You just want to do the thing that you love. And so that is great, but I want to help you guys out, because I know during tax time, that's not the easiest thing to deal with. So if you're running it under your personal and you make $65K from your training business, but you're doing it under your personal account, you'll get taxed on that $65,000 no matter what. So the IRS doesn't care about if you were eating out for business, or they didn't care about if you went to the conference and that was a business expense. They don't care about that. If it's out of your personal account, you'll get taxed on that 65K no matter what. And so if you're able to open up, if it's just you and you're just doing your own business and you're just doing it solo, you made 65,000 and you did all your other expenses as far as your traveling expenses, even your eating out. So if you have a significant other, you guys can go out and you could say it's taken out for a client. You can go to a movie and get inspiration. If anyone's watching a new Adam Sandler movie, highly suggest it. Very good movie. And but you can run all these expenses, from here. Now, if you're paying $3,000 in expenses for your own uses, like your food or your groceries or whatever it is, you're not getting taxed. You're getting taxed on that no matter what. But if you're running under your business, you can run all your personal expenses. You can't go crazy on it. You can't do like, necessarily your dog expense. Like you kind of work around which ones are actually business expenses that you can kind of use as business expenses and then go from there. So let's say you use $40,000 in expenses, but you would normally do that on your personal. Well, like I said, they don't care about that. So if you actually did that under your business LLC, your business bank account, and then now you have 25K left over in profit, and now you put this from the business and use that 25K and pay yourself into your personal account that 25K, you'll be taxed on this 25K. You made as a person 25K, and now the business, since they had $40,000 in expenses and now paid a owner's withdrawal of 25K, the business will be taxed on zero. So you'll be counted as, you didn't make anything this year. So you won't be taxed on anything except for the LLC, which costs about $800 a month. And so that's a big difference to where if you're making 25K on paper, this is where a lot of people get misconstrued if you're not taught the right way or don't know these things. That when people are saying, oh, why doesn't the rich pay on taxes? Because they're a little bit smarter than every other person and they do it kind of the right way. They find loopholes, they find the gray areas, but this is simple stuff. So hopefully that answers, and I could do some Q&A at the end, but you'll be taxed on this 25K. You'll probably get money back. But really you did your expenses on your business. And so that's where you're winning. So just keep that in mind. That's a mindset thing to change up. And so for this second one, and again, I don't know who has this. I think, me and Philip have developed multiple businesses for what we have structured. And if you guys have multiple businesses as a growing trainer, let's say you have the basketball institute and then you had a league that you do for kids, parents, or whatever it is, but they're two separate businesses and you have two separate partners. And so that's where you can't really run you can't run taking out your wife. You can't run, those types of expenses under those businesses. You kind of want to keep those separate, especially when you have partnerships, right? And so this is the one that I presented during the conference that was kind of complicated. So I want to simplify it for you. So if you had two businesses, you had it with partners, you would obviously just do your business expenses as far as what you had to pay for that specific business. But then after that, you would have to pay yourself. So this is where the trick of the consulting firm, and you can name it whatever you want, but I just use that as a reference. So Nelson would have his own business as far as his consulting business, and same thing, $800 a month or $800 a year to just do your consulting business as an LLC. And now those businesses, the Basketball Institute, NYC, Elite League, whatever partnership you have, will pay they don't pay Nelson's personal account, they pay Nelson's consulting account, which is a business. And now from this business, you run the same expenses that we just went over on this side. So now you see this, and now you, at the end of the year, you do your owner's withdrawal, you do it to your personal account, and now you do the same thing. So that was trying to what I was portraying, because that's what me and Philip do. We have multiple businesses that we're growing. So we're trying to keep everything separate, simplify it, but make it easy for taxes. So those are the biggest things I want to kind of teach to you guys. And if you guys ever need any help on it, feel free to reach out. But the biggest thing is, as a trainer, you want to save as much money as you can. You don't want to be spending it to Uncle Tom when you put your hard-earned hours, sweat, and tears into your business, and you're paying 30-40% on taxes or whatever crazy amount it is. So these are just ways to specifically do your business as that will help you save a lot of money in taxes. So that's that. And then if you ever were wondering like how to set up your own business account, I'll keep it in the simplest terms as possible. You would have your cash flow account. So you would have 3 accounts in total: cash flow account, you have your expense account, and then you have your tax account. So once you open up your business, you don't have just one account that has your income and expenses on there. It gets very confusing. If you just had one that has all the income that's coming into your business, and you just had one debit card that you transferred from here to here and just did all your expenses, at the end of the year, you give it to your CPA and say, hey, here's my account with income, here's my account with expenses, and here's for anything extra for taxes, you're good to go. To where if you did it the other way, which a majority of us do, we do it in one account, and at the end of the year, like, oh geez, I have to break down every single expense and do this and that. No, just keep it separate. It's really as simple as that. So I just want to present that to you guys. Hopefully that helps in any type of way. It's just really, it's how you look at stuff. If you educate yourself on those types of things, you'll save a lot of money, which to me, saving money is almost the same thing as making money. In my opinion, I think me and Philip has been on the same page on that. So that's my presentation.
Awesome job. We did it, guys. We are under 90 minutes. A final word from any of you four as we close out. My final word is I hope this provides value to you and is a snapshot. I think each of the four gentlemen, including myself, that were on here, we each have different things that we can offer you all. Me and Ryan, we're both working on kind of a consulting. And Ryan, would you say, just off the top of your head, say, if they invested in this, they would automatically, just the tax part alone would save thousands, if not tens of thousands, if they knew how to structure that.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that these are things that you'll use not just for 1 year, you'll use it for the rest of your life. You'll be able to use that towards, your wife, your kids, your friends, stuff like that. It's just a valuable tool that you'll just save thousands in taxes, which to me is a huge plus. So the stuff that we're going to try to provide to you guys is just value points to have you save money and scale your business. So where you go upside and you're saving money, and you'll save everything in between for yourself.
Awesome.
So investments in yourself is the most important thing.
Corey, any final words, brother?
Yeah, for sure. Ryan, I loved everything you shared. I need to link with you. But I think the most important word that I've learned in this industry is the word no. You guys can learn how to say no. That will actually provide freedom, because then that means you're saying no to things that don't connect you with your goals. No to things that are good, but they're not great for you. No to things that other people may want for you because they think you're good at this, or this will be good for you, but it's not for you, right? Yes binds us. Yes commits us sometimes to things that are not for us. So learn how to say no more, learn to be intentional, and learn to be specific with what it is you want. And that will help you in your journey.
Awesome. Thank you, Corey. Before I swing it to Myson, and Myson will close it up, this recording will be in the package for the Committed to the Craft. Me and Ryan are organizing right now the next year's Committed to the Craft, and we're going to be doing other events as well. But I would say more than anything, use these as resources, because it's really about growing your skill set. A lot of times we focus just on the basketball aspect, but really to be successful requires a team and to develop your skill set. And a lot of that is communication skills, speaking skills, business skills, your ability to develop relationships and collaborate. All those things play into your success in whatever route that you choose to go through the game. Myson, you can close it up, brother, and we're out from you.
Yes, sir. I wanted to say thank you to everybody who's sticking with us for this long. And the last thing I'll say is, it doesn't matter how much we know, it matters how well we actually do this stuff. Case in point with Ryan, man, saved 90% on taxes by shifting over to an S corp and doing exactly what Ryan said. So the stuff works if we actually put it into action. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate you all. And let's stay in touch.